Hey everyone, welcome back to Life is Strange. And I'm not sure where I was at with journal things, so I'm actually going to just make sure I'll cut up there, as well as text messages. And I've got stars, so there must be stuff. So here we go. After being grilled in the principal's den, I hung out with Warren on the lawn so I could feel grass under my feet and watch the fluffy clouds. He's such a sweetheart. He kept telling me how proud he was that I stopped Kate from jumping. I don't believe that I did. But I have to say it's better to be treated like a hero at school than a twee loser. Still, I told Warren that something ominous is happening at Blackwell Academy. Rachel, Amber, Chloe, and now Kate have all been victims. Not to mention me, if I keep playing amateur detective. I wish I could let Warren know about my power, but it's not the right time. Is anything is right? Wait, is this the first page? Or is that just... Or did we talk to him again? And to make the day end on the most surreal note possible, the sky went dark, and we watched a solar eclipse that was not announced in the news or any astronomy site. What is happening in Arcadia Bay? Hello, October 9th. Dear Diary, I have the power to rewind time, and I ended up on a rooftop trying to stop my friend from jumping off while trying to prevent the possible destruction of my hometown. I fell asleep at my desk and woke up reaching out to rewind or grab Kate. I remember when my journal entries were about which anime character I wanted to be, or my dreams of being a respected globe-hopping photographer, or what me and Chloe would be doing when we were finally adults. At least we know how that turned out so far. Chloe's determined to get to the bottom of what's going on, so I've been playing What Would Chloe Do, which means blowing off Blackwell homework to research everything I can on Kate Marsh, Rachel Amber, and the esteemed Prescotts. It would be easy peasy if they were all connected, but at this point, I think the whole town of Arcadia Bay is connected to this crazy shit. I can already see the story on the National Geographic Channel. Mystic, scientific, or apocalyptic. The Arcadia Bay tornado. Shudder. Speaking of fear, I still think about Kate and the sadness in her eyes on that roof. I'm so grateful she's alive. I love her seeing the students at Blackwell show their support for her with gifts and flowers. Finally. At least I feel better now that Nathan is suspended. It's good he's off campus for a few days. I hope. And like I give a shit if the Prescott family sends a team of lawyers after me. Please. I doubt they would like all the publicity. I doubt their tentacles reach into the rest of Oregon. Not yet, anyway. Leave it to Chloe to make me sneak out past curfew and demand I meet her in front of the main building in the dead of night. I knew Chloe would be all over the investigating the campus after what happened to Kate here. This just makes Chloe more desperate to find out what happened to Rachel, if anything. It's funny that even though I can't just rewind myself out of trouble, I can just rewind myself out of trouble. I'm in more trouble now than ever before in my life. If this was a Twilight Zone story, I'd be getting set up for some serious irony. Like I'm going to rewind myself out of existence or something. Can I honestly say I'll have this ability for the rest of my life? Are the tornado, the snow, and that eclipse just hallucinations? Or are they genuine prophecy? And more importantly, is this a curse or blessing? Chloe's alive and by my side, and that has to be a miracle, which means that there must be a way to stop my vision from coming true, right? So yes, I broke curfew and to hook up with Chloe. So she said that she had something to show me. Looks like it's time for some serious detective work. Enter the Blackwell Ninjas. As I stealthily made my way out of the hall, I passed by Kate's door and saw the nice messages from other students. Too bad most of Blackwell didn't care when they passed around the video and bullied her to that roof. Everybody always cares when it's too late. At least Kate will see that people are on her side. Finally. I hope I can visit her when all this blows over. Maybe that's not a good choice of words. Damn, that was too close. I was doing so well until I got outside, and of course it was Principal Wells of all people blocking the way. The one person I least wanted to see. I wasn't ninja enough for him, so yeah, he busted me, but I finally got to see that the gossip was true for a change. Principal Wells was shit-faced. He didn't even try to hide it. In fact, he was a lot cooler drunk than sober. I can see why he's so confused dealing with Kate's family, and the Prescotts, and David Madsen. He still acts suspicious and gives me way too much tood, as he would say. Nobody says that seriously. But I can see that he's under a lot of pressure, so much that he's so wasted he can't even use his keys at midnight. Sure, he was in my way, but he was no match for my rewind power. After all, I had to go and meet Chloe. Bad Max. Even though I thought I was in full ninja mode, Chloe still scared the shit out of me, which pissed me off considering what I've been going through. Sometimes she's so damn insensitive to other people's feelings. She wants all my attention for her and finding Rachel, and she gets all but her if I don't have time for her. Obviously, I have time in hand, but I can't stay mad at her for long, and she was so damn excited about having the keys to the main building. And honestly, I was pretty amped up too. Even more so when we went to the front of the building and spied on Victoria, talking smack about me, and we're actually trying to blackmail Mr. Jefferson to pick her a photo for the Everyday Heroes contest. She's freaking unreal. I give Mr. Jefferson major respect for telling her to get lost, even though she deserved to be expelled for pulling that crap. This is her priority after what happened with Kate. I just don't understand Victoria. No matter how I try, she's already rich, pretty, and a good photographer. Why try so hard to hurt so many to manipulate everything already in your favor? I just hope that's not what I'm doing with my rewind power. Yes, there's something incredibly awesome about breaking into your own school at the witching hour. Although Chloe was technically right, how can we break in with a key? Never mind that it was a stolen key from the school's head of security. Anyway, the Black Gold Ninjas strike again. So cool to stalk the halls when it's dark and quiet, even with so many terrible things happening all around us. It felt like Chloe and I were walking towards the center of a great cosmic mystery, something bigger than any of us. But we kinda suck as master spies since we didn't have a key for the principal's office. No worries, with my rewind power in hand, and of course Dr. Warren Graham, he came through with a bitchin' mini-bomb made of sodium what the fuck ever. I probably learned more putting those ingredients together than the entire semester so far. Sorry, Mr. Grant Warren is the star student here. He tries so hard to help, maybe too much. But what's wrong with that these days? I'm so grateful he's on my team. Talk about being the Sancto Sanctorum. Thanks Latin class I barely passed of Blackwell. I did feel freaking weird about being in the principal's office after midnight, going through his files on the laptop with Chloe. She was way too into it. Technically, we could be arrested and thrown in jail. Yikes, I just pretended that we were on a very special episode of The Wizard of Waverly Place, you know, just a couple of wacky Sherlocks investigating the school for a good cause. Yeah, that helped. While we didn't find the proof we found, Nathan's file had a weird drawing in it that just said, Rachel in the dark room, over and over, so that's a major clue that Nathan is involved in this somehow. Or he's just insane. But his note also referenced David M., which means that we absolutely have to find a way into David's secret bunker files for a good cause. But Chloe can't help herself, and she actually wanted to take $5,000 in cash marked handicapped fund, because that's gotta be legit, am I right? I can't think of a faster route to karma hell, but it would have paid off Chloe's debt to Frank. I stopped her, but it kind of bothers me that Chloe can be so selfish like that. I'm not going to let anything happen to her, but I can't just let her do anything she wants. Mad Max? More like Mommy Max. Despite all the usual breaking in and blowing up office hijinks, Chloe decided what we needed more than anything was to take a night swim at the Otter's Lair. I was so giddy and rebellious that I was like, oh yeah, we shall swim. We didn't completely skinny dip, but close enough to get in big trouble no matter what. I don't know why we were so careless about being so careful. I love that Chloe brings up the just don't give a fuck side of me, even if that hasn't always served her well. She deserved a moment of not giving a shit. Me too. Just two friends goofing around in a pool. I fear those useful shenanigans might soon be a thing of our past. God, I'm starting to sound like one of those teachers at Blackwell. Chloe and I had a nice chat about our lives since I left. We talked about dumb boys and girls and why they're trouble, especially for me. I feel like a groupie when I talk to Chloe about our life experiences. She has me so beat. I take pictures, she takes action. Speaking of action, we had to seriously bounce when security showed up. Duh, how quiet could we have been in the swimming pool? Plus, after leaving a trail of our blackwork handiwork, it was so intense and exciting to get past the security guards. They had serious spotlight power, so it wasn't exactly easy to stealth our way past, especially as we had to bail in Chloe's junker. But like I said, intense and exciting. Hella like Chloe Price. Even though my body smelled like I had been doused in chlorine, it was so nice to crash in Chloe's room for the first time in 5 years and wake up next to her like our old sleepovers. For some reason, it reminded me of the time we were going to TP for one of the neighbors' houses, and we even snuck out, but got chicken and ran back home, laughing all the way. I remember waking up the next day and Joyce was making one of her delish breakfasts downstairs. Chloe smiled at me like we were in the most secret club in the world, or at least Arcadia Bay. We were pirates, damn it. After our academic espionage last night, I felt the same way. It's just that now the stakes are much higher and much more dangerous. I even ended up in some of Rachel Amber's clothes, since mine were trashed. A band tee and ripped jeans. So not me. But I haven't found my style yet, so why not have some fun experimenting with a new outfit? Speaking of experiments, Chloe dared me to kiss her. I would have, but I didn't like being dared like it was some big deal. Maybe I'm scared of what? I think I'm too young for marriage, and Chloe and I might kill each other. Besides, I think Chloe sees Rachel and Amber in her future. When I went down to breakfast, Joyce actually called me Rachel, which just seems so wrong considering how beautiful she is and how boring I am. I guess my new outfit really is working. It's magic. I ended up helping Joyce make breakfast, just like when I was a kid on a sleepover. It's odd how quickly you can fall back into an old routine. So I must have set off Joyce's nostalgia mode since she busted out Ye Old Photo Album. I'm one of the few people who loves checking out old pictures. What was that Alfred Hitchcock line about film being pieces of time? Like Mr. Jefferson said, so are photographs. I do think she wanted me to see her new husband in a better light. When David was happy or laughing with Joyce in a picture, I wanted to say, and who is that? Plus, I'm sure it's no accident that there was a photo of Rachel wearing the exact same clothes I had on. She truly is stunning, and somehow looked more punk rock than Chloe. The true heartbreaking image was the last photo William Price ever took, Chloe and I making pancakes in the kitchen. Joyce really misses that joyful, optimistic girl. I know she's still there. When Chloe smiled at me this morning, I saw her. The picture seemed to sum up everything we had as children and lost as adults, whatever being an adult means. Which was a perfect cue for Chloe to bounce into the room and start shit with Joyce. This gave me cruel cover so I could sneak into the garage and finally unlock David Madsen's extreme files. So today I finally found out what was in David's secret files, and I admit, I expected it to be worse. I'm relieved that it wasn't, so maybe I'm going easier on him than I should. No surprise that he had detailed files on Kate and Rachel listing their whereabouts along with surveillance pics. David isn't off my shit list yet, but he's a damn good investigator. I'll give him that. It's clear that Frank and Rachel had some kind of relationship, and I don't think Chloe is going to be very happy to hear that. She needs to start waking up. We all do. When David came home, things escalated quickly. He looked more upset than usual, but shrugged when he saw me wearing Rachel's clothes. He was so on edge. Maybe I'll never get to see the David that Joyce loves so much. She and Chloe really let him have it, though. This was the first time I saw them bond since we were kids. Suddenly I couldn't take it anymore, and either I kind of blew up. It was like a torrent that felt awesome. I've been wanting to rip into David like that myself for a long time. I figured, worst case scenario, hella rewind power, but I wanted Joyce to know the depth of his weird paranoia. She looked so sad and angry when I told her about the photos of Rachel and Kate, not to mention the home surveillance. Joyce kicked his ass out of the house, to Chloe's glee. Despite David's evidence and the bracelet, Chloe refused to believe Rachel was involved with Frank. This is part of Chloe I don't like much. She gets so damn petulant she doesn't get her way. Or if she hears something she doesn't like. Serious denial. I get why, but that doesn't make dealing with it any easier, so I threw my hands up and suggested we check out Frank's RV. I knew that would piss Chloe off and she would do anything to find out what kind of relationship he had with Rachel. But first we had to get the damn keys to the RV, which meant going into the Two Wheels diner and bouncing like a rewind pinball between Frank, Nathan, Prescott, and Officer Barry and fucking with all of them. I'm still dizzy thinking about how I pulled it off. Yay for Max. Sometimes I feel like I'm just cheating at life. The first thing we had to do was get Frank's scary dog out of the RV. So we did the classic cartoon give a dog a bone routine, and Cujo became Scooby-Doo just like that. Frank's RV was pretty much what I expected. I expected drug dealer trash chic, but he wasn't as serial killer as I feared. We ransacked the place and found what Chloe didn't want us to find. That picture right there. I'm sorry Chloe had to see the pictures of Rachel posing for Frank, even if she did care about him. To her, it's just another betrayal, just another loved one dumping on her. Everyone she ever loved, she lost one way or another. Only I came back from the past. For what? To make Chloe's life more painful? I just wish I could use my rewind power to go all the way back to the days when we were covered in pancake flour. Life was simple. Enjoy the Dear Diary, let's never do the time warp again. I can't even begin to explain what happened. If I think too hard about the ramifications, my brain might melt. When I try to describe it, it's as if I'm describing something that happened to someone else. Chloe was so upset when we discovered that Rachel had actually been involved with Frank Bowers, and she just blew up. I can never talk to her when she's like this, and I just get so tired of having to walk on eggshells around her emotions. She still blames William for her messed up life, no matter how much she knows she's being unfair. I can't say that I wouldn't be just as messed up. Not that I'm not in my own way. In my room, all I could think of was, I wish I could go back in time and help Chloe. And suddenly I was looking at the photograph William and I had taken of us on the day he died. And it started pulsing like it was 3D, like I could see inside the photograph. Then I found myself actually back in the photo, to when I was 13 years old. It was back in Chloe's kitchen in the year 2008, with Chloe and William. Right before he left to pick up Joyce for the last time. Since my powers somehow morphed to this new level of rewind, I decided that there was no way I was going to let William die again, so I played hide the keys until he had no other option but to take the bus. I was so happy I actually saved William. I never thought about what could go wrong. I knew I was screwed when I came out of my epic rewind and saw Victoria Chase, but now she was my friend, and I was a member of the Vortex Club. Enough said. I knew I'd screwed up, and then I felt sick thinking about what might have changed with Chloe. I had a clue when I saw David Madsen driving the school bus. He sure didn't look so threatening anymore. I didn't want to know how he ended up as a bus driver instead of with Joyce. I felt my heart drop when I rushed to Chloe's house, so when William opened the door, I prepared myself for the worst. That's when Chloe rolled forward in her wheelchair, paralyzed from the neck down. I didn't even know what to say, so I covered my mouth in my typical gesture of shock and stupid. But Chloe's smile was so genuine and beautiful, I almost cried. I had to adjust to everything without freaking out, or telling Chloe I actually altered time and space to save her father, but get her in a car accident so she could never walk again. The thing is, she was still Chloe, just minus all the rage. This Chloe was just grateful to be alive and have her family watching over her. Chloe begged me to spend the night, and of course I did. I noticed how run down parts of their home were compared to before. I saw the incredible expensive equipment that Chloe now requires, including her new garage room. Sorry, David. Even though I felt awful and disconnected, Chloe was just so bubbly and excited to hang out with me again, especially since I reflect on her pretty hardcore after her accident. Even in an alternate universe, I'm a shitty friend. Chloe's world was so new and unique to me, especially her strength and kindness and pain. She needed a whole pharmacy to get through the day. I didn't feel sorry for her, I felt in awe of her with her attitude. This Chloe didn't blame anybody for her condition, even though she had the right. We strolled down the beach and saw the beached whales that proved something bad was happening in both realities. And then Chloe asked me to put her to sleep. The accident left her pretty much broken. Her lungs stopped working properly and she was basically dying a slow, painful death. She also felt so guilty about her parents' sacrifice and dwindling income. She wasn't erratic or tortured about this request, just practical, which made me feel even more terrible for putting her in this situation. I agreed to help her simply because she explained that she wanted to have a choice for the last time in her life. How could I argue with that? Especially since I knew I screwed up the entire universe by making a simple decision, and I knew I would have to go back eventually and accept the timeline that actually happened. So Chloe and I had one last movie night watching Blade Runner, falling asleep to the sounds of Vangelis, and then woke up. I put my best friend to sleep forever. After my visit to Chloe's world, I knew it was time to go max to the future. I had seen the result of my temporal tampering, and I got scared thinking my new power wouldn't even work anymore. That would have been cruel karma. Fortunately, I was able to project myself into the photograph once again and undid everything I had done. Goodbye, William, again. Hello, David, again. And last entry here is, I've never been so glad to see Chloe in my life. The second I saw her blue hair and that beautiful pissed off face, I kind of regretted not kissing her when she double dared me. Maybe if she had double dog dared me. And I couldn't even tell where I had been or why. It would be one more thing to alienate Chloe from me and the world. I had to get refocused on the search for Rachel. Chloe had been busy with her detective work while I was in my alternate timeline. That's journals. This is just pictures we already know about people's. Don't really look at any missed messages. I think I actually caught up on these on another episode. So next time we'll figure out what Kate's gonna talk about and stuff. So catch everyone then.